All right, my number 3, we're going back to the world of Inception.
Ooh.
And I am going with the ending scene here, maybe for different reasons than what you brought up earlier, though. For me, this all comes back to that idea of Nolan being known, at least for a while, as a cold and emotionless filmmaker. I've never subscribed to that personally.
Nope.
But especially after Inception. Most people might point to Interstellar for the reasons we just talked about. But for me, I've never been more emotionally moved, at least in a Nolan film, more than the final scene of Inception. This is a movie about processing and coping with grief, of course, and often feeling like you're stuck between realities. And Cobb's number one priority, he talks about this a couple of times in the film. His number one priority to overcome his guilt is the idea of seeing his kids' face again. I wish that I could show it on camera. I have chills on my arm as I say those words, literally. That idea slays me. But the moment Cobb walks into the home there at the end, and he places the top on the table, and of course he spins it because he's often feeling stuck between realities. But then we see him look over at his kids, much like we saw earlier in the film, and there is maybe a little bit of hesitation on his face. And I do love that ambiguity there in Leo's performance. He looks at him much as he's dreamt before, and there is some hesitation as if this is real. But then his kids turn around, and for the first time, we see their young, innocent faces. And Cobb immediately runs over to them. He forgets about the top altogether. He just runs to them and picks them up as we see immense joy on their faces to see their dad again. It is absolutely killer. Now, we have to address the elephant in the room that some of this, maybe a big part of this, is Hans Zimmer's iconic music there. It very much elevates the pathos of the moment for sure. It is one of Zimmer's best tracks. I still think that you could argue it's the best score of that year simply because that piece of music has transcended the film. It has become a cultural moment, a cultural thing that we see in all of these other pieces of media. So the score is doing some lifting there. There's no doubt about it. But I don't think it's all Zimmer, though. It is, again, Cobb's hesitation, the idea of him feeling stuck. Is he going to overcome his guilt? This is the thing he had been looking forward to the most. And he talked about it earlier in the film. So the moment we see the kids turn around, it's no longer about being stuck in reality. It's no longer about guilt. It is all about moving forward, which is why the debate over whether the top, whether it's real or not, I think is irrelevant. I think that is a futile conversation to have. I don't think that moment, it's not about that. Who cares? No. That is a waste of energy as far as I am concerned. Whether it's real or not, for Cobb, I think he finds peace by seeing his kids again. And that's all that matters. Whether he's in the dream world or not, he has moved on. That's his new reality. And the way Nolan frames it, the way it's edited, the reverse shot of Cobb and then seeing the kids and him running to them, picking them up in this new elation, it is staggering to me. I am a giant mess every single time I watch that scene, whether in context or not. I mean, I watched it earlier today in preparation for this, and I had to leave the room. Oh, I just it kills me. Like, I will argue to death that Nolan is an emotional filmmaker. He might show it in different ways. It might come through in different ways. Sometimes it's subtle, like the farrier moment. That's not an overt emotional moment, but the beauty of it is so overwhelming that it is emotional. And sometimes it is direct, such as Interstellar. And I agree with everything you had to say. And this is another great moment that is eliciting phenomenal emotion that is wholly earned. The whole movie had been building to this, such as the farrier scene. So yeah, I'm always overwhelmed. Like Inception, again, it's a really fun, smart, sophisticated movie taking us through all those layers. There's great storytelling to the movie, but more than anything else, that is the moment I always look forward to, is that ending scene and that reunion. It kills me. My number 3 here.
Yeah, it's two things. One, it is a great scene, and I completely agree with you that it does not matter. I am someone who likes to figure things out. I like the puzzle element of it. And so I think there's something to be said about that conversation. Like, is it real? Is it not? But it really doesn't matter ultimately. You're absolutely right. It makes, I'm going to say something, and I think it's funny because it has kind of been answered, but it reminds me of the Sopranos finale. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter when it cuts to black, like what happens next, because that's the whole point. The whole point is that Tony will forever be looking over his shoulder. And so, and we'll always have that tension. And similarly, it doesn't matter if it's real or not, because you're right. Yeah. Just like you said, he has moved on. This is his reality. So whether it's the reality or a dream reality, it doesn't matter. It's his. So I completely agree with you in that regard. The other thing is, I also totally agree. Christopher Nolan is not a cold filmmaker. And again, I also get why. But just because he's methodical and just because he's perhaps more cerebral in certain ways, that doesn't mean there's a lack of emotion. And there are numerous examples that show that he's emotional, just maybe in a more subtle or different way than other filmmakers.
And that's it. Yeah. And I probably came off a little bit too dismissive around the intellectual angle of the moment.
I think it's fine.
I was being a little facetious there because of the argument I was trying to make.
Yeah.
Because logically, there's a discussion to be had there, for sure. And I'm not trying to downplay that as much as I'm just saying it doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't matter. We can debate all day whether the top falls or it doesn't. Is it real or is he in the dreamscape? Sure, that's a fascinating bar conversation to have. And also, and maybe that's the most appropriate place to have it because you're drinking and who cares? Because it doesn't really matter. Like it's literally a waste of breath. But in a bar, that's a good place to waste breath when you're just drinking and trying to unwind and not be too serious. But yeah, I don't think it matters. Like the moment he sees his kids, that's his new reality. That's him moving on. And that's the point of the scene.
Yes.
And again, I find it really incredible how it manifests there from an execution standpoint. Nolan, I think, sticks that landing impeccably. And I love it.